I really thought the problem was discipline. That if I could just stay focused, stay consistent, stop slipping for a few weeks, everything would finally stabilize. But after a while, something stopped making sense. Because even when I was trying, life still kept falling apart in the exact same places. What this feels like. And eventually, it starts changing the way you see yourself. 'Cause when things keep slipping, when you keep resetting, when simple routines stop holding together, your brain starts looking for someone to blame. So you blame yourself. You tell yourself you need to try harder, wake up earlier, be more disciplined, stop messing up the same things over and over again. But the frustrating part is, a lot of the time you actually are trying. You're trying to stay organized, trying to stay consistent, trying to stay ahead before the next problem hits. And somehow, life still keeps collapsing in the exact same places. The bills pile up again. The routines disappear again. The stress comes back again. And after enough resets, you stop treating the collapse like a temporary setback. You start expecting it. Why this keeps happening? But that's where things get dangerous. 'Cause once you believe the problem is your character, you stop looking at the pressure surrounding your life. And pressure changes people more than most realize. Constant stress slowly destroys consistency. Not because you're lazy, 'cause your brain eventually shifts into survival mode. You stop building ahead. You start spending all your energy recovering from the last problem before the next one arrives. And the worst part is, from the outside, it still looks like you should be functioning normally. So you keep expecting normal performance from someone mentally carrying constant instability. That's why people end up trapped in these cycles where they make progress, start recovering, finally feel hopeful again, and then one difficult week wipes everything out. Not because they didn't care, 'cause their entire system depended on life staying manageable long enough to hold together. And honestly, that's the part most people never realize. Some systems were already fragile long before life got hard. What this leads to, after a while, this creates something deeper than frustration. You stop trusting yourself. Even small setbacks start feeling bigger than they should because part of you is already expecting everything to fall apart again. So now every unexpected expense, every stressful week, every interruption feels like proof that you failed again. And eventually people stop setting goals altogether. Not because they don't want a better life, 'cause constantly rebuilding yourself gets exhausting. That's why people can spend years feeling busy, exhausted, and responsible, while their life never actually feels stable. They aren't building stability anymore. They're just trying to recover faster each time things collapse. What to do instead? At some point, I started realizing something uncomfortable. A lot of the things I called discipline problems were actually stability problems. 'Cause real stability isn't about performing perfectly when life feels easy. It's about whether your routines can survive pressure, whether your system still works, when you're tired, when money gets tight, when life becomes unpredictable, when motivation disappears for a while. And honestly, that realization changes everything. 'Cause eventually you realize perfection was never the thing keeping your life together in the first place. Question becomes, how do I build a life that doesn't completely collapse every time things get hard? And I think that's why so many people stay stuck for so long. They keep trying to become more disciplined, without realizing the real problem might be that their entire system only works under perfect conditions. Which means the moment life becomes stressful again, everything starts slipping immediately. And once you see that, a lot of your past failures start looking very different. 'Cause maybe the issue was never that you were lazy. Maybe the real problem is that you were trying to build stability on something too fragile to survive real life in the first place. And honestly, looking back, a lot of the collapse had already started long before everything visibly fell apart. There were patterns I kept ignoring. Small pressure points, small resets, small cracks in the system. And the scary part is, once those patterns start repeating long enough, they stop feeling like accidents. They start becoming the way your life operates.